Hello, welcome. I am so excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Carla Caldwell. I am your Live Your Best life coach, and I am so excited to be here with you. I have quite the story to tell. Well, I don't know if it's that exciting, but I do think I'm probably going to share something that happens to many of you watching. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here. All right, this is my only ask for the whole evening, I promise. If I say something that inspires you, will you please share this out? And if you are watching, I so want to connect with you. So will you please comment in the chat box so that I can interact with you? Just share your name and where you live if you want to. I don't mean your address. I'm not being a creeper, I promise. But just share with me what state you are watching from. And yeah, name, state you're broadcasting from. And as I'm talking, share your comments. Okay. So what happens when your ugly self comes out? Why would I want to discuss this? Why do I think it's important? Because this is what happened to me today. My ugly self came out today. I'm not proud of it, but I want to talk about it because I think this happens to more people than just me. So I got up at 4 a.m. You can probably tell I look kind of a mess. I got up at 4 and I had a long day because I traveled 3.5 hours from here to a clinic and 3 hours back. So I traveled 3.5 hours there. I spent 6 hours in the clinic, traveled 3.5 hours back, and then traveled home, which is another 35 minutes. So when I got home, I was exhausted. Honestly, if it were just me and my little life, I would have crawled in bed, pulled the covers over my head, and just passed out and been like, but that's not my reality. I got home and my children met me in the garage. Mommy, 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 I need this, I need that. I walk in, people need to eat. So I started making dinner and I lost my shit. Sorry to curse, but there's no other way to describe what happened. And I was not my best self. I yelled at everyone, my children, my husband, at everyone because I'm exhausted and I didn't want to cook for everyone. And I said things I didn't mean. I yelled. If any of you watching are relating to this, please let me know. One, if you relate, and two, what you do to manage yourself. So after my little meltdown, everyone went to hide pretty much. And I was making dinner, breathing, and then the guilt and shame hit because I felt so bad for acting that way. And, I assessed the situation. Like, okay, what I'm imagining is real? Because our emotions can really play tricks with our mind. Our emotions can make us feel and judge things in a certain way that really aren't happening. Like in that moment, I was feeling frustrated, tired, and angry. And I was reading the situation like no one cared about me. And here I am with this long day and I'm so upset and angry. But that's not really what was happening. My family missed me and they wanted to talk to me. And they just wanted to interact with me. So I figured out that was a lie. I figured out I felt badly for what I said. And I always like to ask myself, how can I take care of myself in this moment so I can be a better person? I realized that I needed help and I was tired and I needed to tell my family. So I called them all in and I shared, um, beloved family, I am sorry. Okay, so Chelsea relates. She goes into her room and reads scriptures and prays. Oh, I wish I had done that, Chelsea. That probably would have been more graceful. I called my family in and I just apologized. And I went through each thing I said, saying, that's not really true. That's not really true. That's not really true. I was just tired. And the moment I said that, everyone started helping me. So I realized that I needed to ask for help sooner. So what I learned from this, and I keep learning this lesson, and for those of you watching, if you relate to this and you have advice to share, like Chelsea, I liked what you shared, Chelsea. I think that's helpful. I'm actually going to be talking about the 12 tribes of Israel in my podcast tonight. So that's a little teaser. I'm so excited. I had this epiphany about 3 of the tribes of Israel and a connection to our own living our best life. So I'm excited to share. Hi, Larry. How are you? Have you ever had a rough day where your ugly self comes out? So this is what I've learned after having my ugly self come out way too many times, more times than I want to admit, is one, I didn't catch myself today, but I try to catch myself. You know, when I'm tired, this usually happens. I notice a pattern with people when they're tired, when they're hungry, right? Or stressed. So on good days when I catch myself, I ask myself, dearest Carla, what do you need in this moment to be your best self? And whatever it is, I try to do it. So sometimes it's just, sit quietly and do what Chelsea is saying, deep breathing, and sometimes tears just to release. That would be good, Chelsea. I'm funny about crying because I'm the first person to cry if someone else cries during commercials, movies, songs. But for myself, it's very hard for me to cry. I feel it like I want to, and then like my body just kind of shuts it down. So I'm working on that. I think that would be helpful. But deep breathing is good. And asking yourself, dear self, what do you need right now to be your best self? And honor it. Maybe you need some water. Maybe you need to be alone. Maybe you need to ask for help. And 2, honestly, if you can just do number 1, that is going to solve a lot of problems. But number 2 is remember that what you do and say has a lasting effect. I'm very lucky that my boys and my husband are very forgiving. They forgive me. They're very sweet. But, I don't always expect that because that's not fair to expect people just to forgive you when you act out. But I try to keep in mind before I blow up that my actions have consequences. And I try to think of the bigger picture because 10 years from now, I want my family to remember the wonderful things I think about them, not the angry outbursts. So Larry says, nowadays, every day's been rough because of hot weather. Yes, that can make a day really rough. Today was pretty hot. Larry, thank you for tuning in. Good evening to you and a blessing to see you. Thank you. Thank you. If this was helpful in any way, please share this out. So I really just wanted to come on and share with you my process and what I do to try to be better at this. And 2, I wanted to see if anyone out there needed some support because I'm in a much better place now that I took care of myself and my family took care of me. And I'd love to support anyone else out there. Hi, Sonia. You're so welcome. It's so nice to see you. How are you? Um, because it's not easy. And I know a lot of you out there that I'm connected to, you have a 100 irons in the fire. You're serving other people. So many of you I admire, and you're serving others. And that takes a lot of energy. And sometimes when you come home, our loved ones, they're just so excited to see us, and we're depleted. And if we don't take care of ourselves, our loved ones can take the brunt of it. Sonia says she's going through her PTSD trigger right now and had an EMDR session today. I would love to. I've heard of EMDR. I've known people who get it, but I've not had that. Sonia, I'm really thinking about you and sending you love and light and visualizing you strengthened by this whole experience. You're an incredible, beautiful person that is always of service. So I pray for healing for you. I myself have PTSD. I've talked about it before, and I guess all I can say is that I don't understand everything you're going through, but I know for me, it's very challenging when I go through my own triggers. So I am there with you, sending you a virtual hug. All right, so the biggest takeaways, I really loved what Chelsea said. She goes into her room and reads scriptures and prays. And for those of us who may not read scripture, that might mean reading something inspirational or meditation. And I love that Chelsea said deep breathing and tears. I love that. And Sonia suggested EMDR. You're so welcome, Sonia. And I'm actually going to look into that to see if we have that here. I think that might be helpful. And then my suggestions were, when you're noticing that you're off, I like to place my hand on my heart. That helps me to focus, my energetic heart. And I ask myself, dearest Carla, what do you need right now to be your absolute best self, to bring your best self to this situation? So when I'm feeling tired, hungry, or stressed, I try to ask myself this so I can prevent outbursts. And whatever comes up for me, I try to prioritize. And very importantly, I try to picture long-term outcomes with my children and my husband and what I want out of the situation. That usually inspires me to take care of myself, because I really want the long-term picture for my loved ones to feel loved and supported by me and not remember outbursts. Okay, Alan J-Mac, post on Instagram, mostly quotes, but you're just not strong enough to better yourself. You know what, Alan? I would like to offer a different option. I think if you're posting on Instagram quotes that are, I'm assuming they're uplifting in some way, so please correct me if I'm wrong. That is a form of bettering your surroundings and yourself. And maybe that's what you can do right now. And it sounds like you're doing it. And if I'm hearing you correctly, that you'd like to do more, what would be your next best step, your small step? What could you do? What's one small thing you could do to better yourself other than sharing inspirational quotes on Instagram? Hi, Gabe. Gabe, I have to tell you that your photography is very moving. And I'm glad you're here because I wanted to share that with you, that your photography is so beautiful. any of you interested in following Gabe is the Apple guy. He has beautiful photography on Instagram. If you don't mind sharing your Instagram handle, Gabe, because that's where I see it. Alan is saying I'm assuming you're speaking of yourself, that you have some anxiety and depression and some PTSD and ADHD, and since February you've been hurting yourself. Okay, so Alan, it sounds like you're going through a tough time. Do you know where to get help if you need help? Do you have any resources? I'm looking up the crisis line so I can post it. I just want to make sure you have it. I'm not saying that you need it right now, but I want you to know it, just in case. And they now have a text line, so if you don't feel like talking to someone, you can do text, and you can text 741-741 24/7. 741-741. I'm going to put that in the chat. Alan, I want to thank you for posting inspirational content, even though you're not feeling well. I really appreciate that you're doing that. And that's really beautiful that even though you're struggling, you are wanting to put content out that betters our community. I really, really appreciate that. And Alan, again, I want to ask you if you know who to reach out to if you need help. You don't, when you call for help, it doesn't mean you have to commit to anything. It just means that you can call and speak to someone. They're available 24 hours. I don't know why I'm only finding the, oh, geez. I'm sorry, if anyone knows the crisis line, will you please help me post it? I'm trying to look it up as oh, here we go. Okay. I'm going to post it in the chat. You know what, Alan? I have, I don't talk about this a lot, but I feel called to talk about it right now. But my relationship with my family is very strained in many ways. And hi, Joanne. How nice to see you. It's so good to see you. Blessings, my friend, to you. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. Alan, I posted the crisis line. I just want you to know that it's there, and the text line. I am so excited that you have friends to talk to. Now, I want to share with you that my relationship with my family can be very tense. And for a long time, I wanted my family to be the ones. You know, I had expectations about what my family should be. And I was very blessed. The way it sounds like you are blessed, is that I have beautiful friends that support me all the time. And sometimes the support that we need comes in ways that we don't accept. So I encourage you to open up to the help that's showing up for you. And maybe if you're open to it, releasing some of the expectations you have of who it should be. I know that I'm working on this, and it has helped me tremendously, because I find that when I need help, it always shows up. It's not always how I want it to look, but it always shows up. So they say that just go to doctors Alan is saying that the advice he gets is just go to doctors, and if he could, he would, but something you can't just get yourself to do it. I know that can be hard. It can be hard to call. I would encourage you to call or text the line that I posted. So again, you can text 741-741. It's 24/7. And I think that texting is really nice because you're not committed to speaking to anyone. And for any of you listening, this is a good resource to have. I also posted a crisis line for yourself or anyone you know. And you can just text or call, and you might even be able to get help making an appointment, because I know that can be challenging. All right. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. And I also, I hope this was helpful. If it was inspiring or helpful in any way, can you please share this out? We were talking about when our ugly self comes out, which can happen to any of us when we're feeling tired, hungry. I'm saying hangry. That's how I feel sometimes. But when you're hungry, I hope so, Alan. And do you go by Alan? I keep calling you Alan, but if you prefer a different name, let me know. I hope you'll consider reaching out. 741-741. You can text that so you don't have to talk to anyone. Or if you want to talk to someone, 1-800-273-8255. I'm going to post it one more time just so you have it. Okay, perfect, Alan. That's a very nice name. So don't stop posting your comment. I'm going to look for you. What is your handle on Instagram? And I'll follow you. I love inspirational content and quotes. So thank you again. I know you're going through a tough time, and I really, really appreciate that you still post inspirational content. Okay, I will look for you on Instagram. All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have an incredible night. And if you're just signing on right now, I encourage you to watch the beginning. I went over what happened to me today when my ugly self came out, and I had some lovely people join this in the chat, giving some of their helpful advice when their ugly self comes out. And then I shared my process. I am visualizing you being well. I am visualizing you happy and energized and living in your purpose. I am visualizing you succeeding in everything you want to succeed in. I am visualizing you inspiring everyone around you to be better. I am so grateful to you. You are an incredible, beautiful person, and you matter. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. I appreciate it. It's so nice to see you. I hope you're doing awesome. Thank you. Hi, Mandy. Thank you. All right. Have an incredible day, and thank you again for being here.